Hello, good afternoon. We're sorry for the delay in this broadcast. That is because we experienced some technical issues midway. Please accept our apologies and sorry for any inconveniences. It is always a pleasure engaging with you every week on the Fifth Estate Live Show on Akweya TV, the broadcast channel that brings you stories on history, art, and culture as it relates to our development as individuals and as a society. And of course, I am your host, Hope Williams, and I'm in the studio today with Mr. Vancouver T. Alam, who is a social activist, and Mr. Jide Oyekunle, a journalist, and he's the NUJFCT. He's the chairman NUJFCT correspondent chapel. On today's show, we will be discussing all the events that unfolded during the End Bad Governance protests. Stay tuned. So, Mr. Jide, we would like you to recount your experience with respect to press harassment during the April 1st End Bad Governance protests.
Yeah, on the 1st of August.
Yes, sorry, 1st of August.
Thursday, to be precise. The End Bad Governance protests started right from the National Stadium, MKO Abiola Stadium. And the protesters converged directly in front of the National Stadium as early as 7 o'clock. Were there journalists, local journalists and foreign journalists were on ground to cover the protest. And the Commissioner of Police and his entourage arrived the National Stadium few minutes after the convergence. And he actually told the protesters to move into the stadium. He claimed that the court order said that they should protest inside the stadium, but the protesters said no, that they cannot go inside the stadium. That the court order said that they should protest in the stadium. And at this point, the Commissioner of Police insisted that they should go inside, but the protesters said no. This altercation was going on between the protesters and the Commissioner of Police. The Commissioner of Police left in anger, and he gave them 3 hours that he will come back. They should make up their mind to go inside. But the protesters sensed the danger that once they enter inside the stadium, the police may use the opportunity to cage them and lock the stadium. But immediately the Commissioner of Police left. The protester also left, and they moved straight to the Eagle Square. Upon arrival at this Eagle Square, the journalists also followed them. And it was quite unfortunate to discover that the Commissioner of Police himself, Mr. Bennett Igwe, personally came down and harassed journalists who were covering the protest. He came to me where I was standing with other journalists covering the protest when they were shooting, because immediately the protesters surfaced at the head of service building facing the Eagle Square. The police have already laid ambush, and they started shooting tear gas at the protesters. We were inside in the middle of the police, and before you know, the Commissioner of Police came, and he came to me asking me that why am I covering the protest? He has told us not to come here, that he will charge us for trespass. I told him, I said, sir, we are journalists. We are not protesters. He insisted. He said, he's going to charge me for trespass. I said, no, sir, we are journalists. We are not protesters. He said I should bring my phone. He yelled at me. I gave him my phone, and he ordered for my arrest. He said, take him away, arrest him. And he used his hand. He dragged my neck close to him and handed me over to the armed policemen. In the process, they dragged me like a common criminal, and they were taking me. They were about to put me inside the vehicle when the other journalists who were around at the scene actually shouted on top of their voices that, no, you can't take him. What has he done? He's a journalist. He's covering protest. and they resisted that illegal arrest. And he seized my phone, he collected it, and it was later in the evening, around that 6 o'clock, that the PRO called me to come and collect my phone. I see that action as direct affront, an attack, and assaults on democracy itself, because journalists were there to cover the protest. They are doing their statutory, they are performing their statutory responsibility as guaranteed in Section 22 and that of Section 39, respectively, in the Constitution. But so I want to use this opportunity to say that journalism is not a crime. Journalism is not a crime. We are not an opposition. We are doing our job. And there is no way we are going to abdicate our responsibility. We'll continue to uphold and protect that fundamental objective of the directive principle of the state policy as stated in chapter 2 of the Constitution.
So, Mr. Vancouver, having heard Mr. Jide's experience as a social activist, prior to the protests, some persons have come out to say this protest is unnecessary. And during our show last week, you also said it that this protest will fail. And of course, you had your reasons. But then, what do you think about using tear gas canisters on protesters? And do you think that the protest was actually necessary? Because some persons are saying it is just 14 months. Why are we expecting so much from the government of the day?
This attitude of people in the government and the ordinary citizens, and the issue of right of citizens to protest or not, it sounds awkward hearing it, because in the first place, who made you? The government. It's a transaction. It's even a contract between the citizens and the person in the government. You will still come back after 4 years after all. So therefore, somebody should, even outside of the laws of human rights, naturally, this is just traditional norms, to say that I gave you this, I have the right to question why you are not handling it well. This was not the agreement. It's the right of the people. So the idea of whether it is just 1 year or not, people have died. So much has gone wrong within this short period. So we have to wait. There's a parameter in which you have to wait till you protest. Even the day Tinubu took over power that day, somebody has the right to question why he went there and announced the first subsidy this thing. He has the right. As soon as that speech was done, some of the citizens have the right to question, even protest. So this idea of people shouldn't protest or protest for or against, it sounds awkward in the modern era that we're living. Human beings have the right to his life, and have the right to say what is wrong. It's in our constitution. He quoted it. So that's not even a question to me. But adding to what he has said about the brutality of the police, I think it's a psychotic kind of behavior acquired by the so-called military rule. I think we have not come out of that psychological attitude of the military behavior. That's what it is. Because we actually took over, we say we'll return back to democracy, but I think there is something we didn't work on. Our attitude is not still refined. The same brutality we saw during the military era, the same brutality we are seeing in the police. But I remember how the police would cry foul that the military have taken over their jobs. Otherwise, they could have done it differently. What is the difference today? It was the same country where you see the military breaking cameras, arresting journalists, killing some. We are back in democracy. We are seeing the same behavior. What is it? Where is the democracy? Where is the right of the people? Now, it is irritating and annoying to know that these individuals that are in the government, the highest some of them may have is just about 32 years in service or 35. They are going to return back to the same society that they are killing. You have young people that you are raising tomorrow as your children. relatives. They are among the people that will become governors of tomorrow. They are watching you do this. And they are learning. They are using that as a parameter to rule. So when they get into the government, that's all they know. And now you understand the reason why so many government officials think that by killing information, by keeping away journalists or information that is very vital and the right of the people away from the people is order of the day. So therefore, government officials, public officers in the government, in our society, own TV stations, own radio stations, all media stations, it is not because they want to give information to ordinary people like you and I. It is basically to kill information and to block the truth. It is not for anybody. If anybody is thinking we have so many radio stations, we have TV stations, so journalism is booming in Nigeria, I say no. Journalism will boom only when I see the public officers behaving normal, not with the kind of testimony he has shared. So long as we remain like this, we're not making effort to go nowhere. It should be of a benefit to the so-called government officials, to the police, that a journalist is there to cover the protest. Because the truth of the matter is that some protesters don't conduct themselves properly. So therefore, allow the journalists to cover what you're doing, so that you also hold us as a yardstick to give an example to say, okay, this is what they were doing. They were breaking down maybe something. They were committing a crime in the process. That's why you arrested them. And that will be the job of the journalists, helping you. But you see, they are so close up and clocked up in their thinking of covering information. Sometimes they don't think toward these areas I'm thinking. A journalist is supposed like empire. In every occasion, in every situation, it's neither for the people, neither for the government.
Yeah,
a journalist is there to tell the story the way it is, so that you make the judgment by yourself. So why do you make the journalists look like criminals? They shouldn't go cover the event. The man who is not at the event, how would he even know that this is what happened, this is what transpired? Look, Nigeria, sometimes I'm tempted to question the foundation that Nigeria was built on. Because if you look at it from the beginning of the 1960s, when Nigeria was going for independence, what was the negotiation?
Who negotiated it?
What was the negotiation? Because the truth of the matter is, it seems though that they saw some of the slave masters running the government and how they were living in so-called GRAs, driving good cars, living good lives. So they were persuaded to ask for independence so that it would take over these locations and these facilities and these positions. They didn't ask for the rights of ordinary people. It wasn't. And now you understand why we are today. Because the same 1960 attitude of the so-called riots we spoke about, the same women who were protesting in the 60s, the same people who were protesting in the 70s over the same issues, ordinary amenities, social life. We want to live normal, we want to eat. That's all we're saying in this country. Remember, the foundation of all the prostate is just about one thing: cost of living. The fuel is high, fuel hike. As I was coming to the studio, there were queues. Very embarrassing. This is a country that produces everything. We're supposed to keep quiet to that? It's wrong. We are tied to our ropes at the hanging point of suicides. Everybody's living suicide. I keep saying this, but if you look at it, where's your tomorrow? What's the guarantee of your tomorrow? Are you sure that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days to 5 years to come, you'll be able to achieve this? Where are the indices showing to that success? Nobody in Nigeria can claim that. Nobody. That's what's called suicide. If you go to countries that works, you will discover that the government of America, for instance, knows that the next 20 years, next 15 years, the children that they are grown now, they know what they will look like. Do we have that confidence here? And all of this, then somebody will say we should not protest. Even the police you're talking about. If you go into the police barracks, the so-called things are not working well, let's protest. Even for the police as well. Are they living a good life? No. Police are citizens of this country. They don't employ them from somewhere to come and work here. No. They are citizens. They are living with us. Some of them don't even live in their quarters. They live with ordinary people on daily basis. It should be their fight as well. They are not from somewhere. They are also Nigerians who are trying to make it happen for everybody. So when you want to discuss Nigeria, it's a story that will never finish. So, but the central thing I'm trying to say, the idea of people not protesting, people should stop saying that thing. Or the government is just 1 year old. I mean, a baby of 3 months or 2 years or two days will die. We still bury the baby. It's alive. You don't question when we will start to it's not like a football match that you say the game is starting by 12, so therefore it has to be by 12. No. It's a situation that's biting the citizens. They have to react. So we are reacting. So nobody should even come and be saying things that will provoke the citizens the more. It's very wrong. I condemn the act that you've shared. I've condemned the story. I condemn the police. I condemn. A journalist should be treated like an egg. Because it's just the only vision. It's the only person that sees the vision of how the attitude of the citizen is to tell the story to everybody that is at home and anywhere. I'm trying to kill a journalist, trying to harass a journalist, trying to tell him not to do his job. I think it's very condemnable.
So it's been a wonderful and intense time in the studio with Mr. Vancouver T. Alam and Mr. Jide Oyekunle. And of course, we are analyzing the events that unfolded during the End Bad Governance protest. I would like to have your opinion also in the comment section. And don't forget to like and share this video. We will be going on a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At ISU Media Limited, we understand the power of media relations in amplifying the impacts of NGOs. For 16 years, we have been dedicated to helping organizations forge better relationships with the mass media. Our expertise lies in crafting compelling narratives and ensuring that NGOs deliver newsworthy materials in the formats that reporters and editors desire. In addition, we conduct structured monitoring of mass media and social media content. We work closely with you, our clients, to increase your visibility as an NGO. If you are an NGO seeking to strengthen your media relations, let us be your trusted partner in building meaningful connections with the mass media.
Connect with us by sending an email to info@isumedia.net.ng for more interesting updates. Subscribe to our newsletter on LinkedIn at The Fifth Estate. You'll get all the development stories that you need. ISU Media.
Thank you for staying tuned. And of course, it's been the Fifth Estate live show on Akweya TV. If you're just joining us, we are analyzing the events that unfolded during the End Bad Governance protest. And I've been in the studio with Mr. Jide and Mr. Vancouver. So, to the conversation, Mr. Vancouver, during your analysis, you said something. You said that the people, like the younger ones, see the government of the day do something, and then they think it is normal. So when they get to the office, they repeat the same thing. And you also made reference to the US. You said a child who is born today, the government already knows what that child will be like in 10, 15, 20 years to come. Now, just citing that example, there was something that happened within the week. The first ever female SUG president of University of Calabar appointed 50 essays. 50 essays. And people are saying, this is the wasteful government we are talking about. We are crying that the government of the day is wasteful, which is why we even embarked on this protest in the first place, to end bad governance, cut the cost of government. We are having too many ministries, too many essays, too many agencies. And an SUG president in a university has 50 essays. Now, the question is this. How do you want to run this government? That is one. And two, is she even capable of the bulk of information, the bulk of duties and responsibilities that come with occupying the office of the SUG, number one, and the whole thing, the whole affairs of these 50 essays that she has appointed? What's your take on that?
It's quite unfortunate to to hear this kind of story. But am I surprised? No. Because if federal government itself, under the leadership of President Ahmed Tinubu, is having close to 50 ministers, in a country where we are wondering what kind of job are the ministers doing. A situation where you are having people in the National Assembly having 50 PAs as well to each senator or a member of House of Reps. A situation where you have a commissioner in a state having 20 PAs representing each village.
And so much.
You're having a governor that will have 5 PAs of media, on media, essay on media, P on media, that on media, this one for kitchen, this one, all of these things. What do you expect the young girl to do? And I tell you, some of the young people that you see aspiring for leadership tomorrow only got to know themselves when democracy returned in Nigeria. They have never witnessed any other thing that is called a government in their life. So the living example of what they are copying is what they've seen. I will paint an analogy, I'll paint a picture. In your home, the reason why some of us are what we are today is basically because our parents did a very wonderful job, but living by example of what we are today. You have a father in the house that is stealing and is asking you not to talk about it. Is helping you to do same. I don't think that child will grow to be anything else.
It's basically like father, like son.
Whatever you see happening in society today is the attitude of the government and the leaders of our communities and the social life and whatever that you can say, even religious bodies. The influence of the people in the church. The reason why some church people, maybe some people who are Muslims, the way they are listening to what the leaders are saying and they are living by it. Likewise the government. So in the contrast to what you are talking about America, where they say, okay, a child of 4 years have an idea how it will be when he's 15 in America. We in Nigeria also have the idea of a child of 20, a young man of 20, what he will be like when he's 30 or 40 in the government. Because he's living based on what he's seeing. So it's a society issue. And people talk about Nigeria. We're not seeing anything yet. What we're seeing today, because we're breeding young people who are growing on these principles. Why do they even have to join politics in the first place? For instance, if you go to a place like America, there are families who have been Democrats. Their grandparents were Democrats. There are families who their grandparents were members of, Republicans. And they remain in these political parties. Why? Because it's about principles. We don't join politics in Nigeria based on principles. The last time we were talking about Andy Okonkwo. If Andy Okonkwo will understand who Peter Obi is and his principles, he would be ashamed of even coming out to say what he said. But he doesn't know the principles. Ours is, what can we get from you? Or what can we get from the government? It's not about principles. And so long as we can't find that in that political party, we jump to the other way. It's not about principles. The young people are watching. They are copying. They are seeing all of these things play out. It's like watching a movie, a cartoon film that you didn't watch. They will act it. If you buy a toy gun and give a child, it's a possibility that that child will grow up. You want to shoot the real gun. So this is the fix. This is a mix that we're in, and nobody is paying attention to it. The bogus kind of government that we're running. You know, there's something the young people say they want to blow. Because they see the senators driving SUVs, they see their children driving expensive cars. Who don't want to be like that? This is heaven on earth. Everybody wants to be what they see. So until the attitude of the people in the government will change, not just the government, the attitude of the leaders in the society will change. We will not change. For instance, we spoke about public school the last time. Virtually everybody in leadership position today went to public school.
But their children are not.
What is happening to public school today? Why are they not looking at public schools that where they're not even lawyer? to their beginning, and it's criminal. They say you cannot bite the hand that feeds you. We have done that already. So there is just no way we will go forward with this kind of behavior. So long as we keep going to do direction, Nigeria will continue to be the same thing. And I'll go back again. Never a day that anybody should come to you or come to me to tell me that you don't have the right to protest. That's very irritating. Nigeria is a country that God loves so much. Some of the things that happen here in this country are the same things that will happen elsewhere, and the whole country will be shut down. We cease to exist. What happened in Iraq? What happened in Afghanistan? What happened to this country that you saw, Liberia? Little issues. Rwanda, little issues. Those kinds of things have happened here more than 1,000 times. God is keeping Nigeria together. Then we're using that as a yardstick to hold, to continue to behave this way. We can't go forward with this kind of behavior. I'm sorry to say so. No amount of prayer that will change this on our attitude. Because if it's a way of prayer, I guess Nigeria is one of the more religious countries of the earth. We're supposed to be a place where people will leave their countries and come for pilgrimage, for spirituality. Why are we still in this situation? And I say, prayer alone cannot work. Let's just get this right. Prayer will not work. Our attitude will work. So people in leadership, they should own responsibility to this thing. They should say that we have suffered enough. They should have pity on the younger people coming out of them. Even if they've sworn to be this bad, they should betray their gods and their beliefs and at least do the right thing for once, for the sake of younger people coming.
So speaking on the attitude of younger people and the you want to blow concept. So we on social media you will hear people say things like, thank God for Yahoo boys, because that them they match up with all these politicians. This is because it is believed that the Yahoo boys make money and ride the kind of car the politician child will ride to school and all of that. But due to all this attitude by the young ones, some persons have come out to say Nigerian youths are not ready for politics. They are not prepared for politics. They don't understand what politics is. So, Mr. Jide, for someone who has been in the media space for quite some time, do you agree that the Nigerian youths are not ready for politics?
Well, to me, the true test of a man is what he does with power. And that young woman of the SUG presidents who managed to become SUG presidents, I think it is quite unfortunate that such a person, when she gets to the position that is even higher than that, maybe local government chairman or probably governor, you can know the number of PA that
she will carry 100.
Yes. Having said that, there is need for attitudinal change among our youths, simply because they need value orientation and attitudinal change, and for them to get ready for politics, and for them to actually know what is being required of them, their responsibility in moving the society forward. You don't just leave everything for the leaders or maybe for the politicians, and you are saying that no, you want to protest. No. You have to come. You have to be part of it, and the readiness have to start with you. It will have to show it. Look at the recent appointments by our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who just discovered another talent of the former governor of Katsina State.
Yeah.
Aminu Bello Masari. He just appointed him as head of executive secretary of the third fund.
Yeah.
What have you?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday. You can see the you can see what we are talking about, because when this thing is happening, it is very annoying, very in a way that when a 70 years old man is being appointed to come and head an educational institution, it's mind-boggling. And now the youths, as you have said, the youths are not ready, and there is need for them to actually brace up. There is need to change the political mindsets of our youth, because as you have said the other time, that ask any youth the last post of Davido yesterday night, they will tell you.
They know. In fact, they even know what he's planning to do.
Ask any Gen Z, to anybody around you at the age of 18, 20, 30, the last post of Wizkid on TikTok or on IG, Instagram.
They even know his account balance.
Tell you. So all these things we have to do. All this. Why can't they channel that productive energy
Something
into
positive?
Politics? You understand? Something productive into politics, into economy. The word is tech. There is nowhere. There is nothing you can do about it. The word is more or less technology. So why can't we channel that instead of wasting our time, wasting their talents on that, in that area? And as you have said, the protests, the aspiration, the expectation, and the demand by Nigerians, not only the youth that are in this protest, I think it is legitimate.
It is.
They are asking for the basic.
Right questions.
Yes. And there is no way any government will come and criminalize protest, because this government, to be precise, came through protest. And there is no way they will tell Nigerians that, oh, they cannot.
Why are you afraid of saying the president himself came through protest?
Let's be
factual. When you say government, it looks like, yes,
enough is enough.
It's the father of protest in this country.
Even Occupy Nigeria.
Yes.
Occupy Nigeria is days of Nadeko. This was the man behind Nadeko.
And this government is very good in using propaganda.
This is the brain behind Nadeko. What I was saying.
Yes.
Then you turn around and say people should not protest. How? People died in Nadeko. People lost their lives. Properties were damaged, and
so
I caught you, but it's just the way I feel.
No, it's okay. Your feelings are valid for any. So it's really okay, because in Nigeria now, people say things like, someone will ask you, "What do you do for a living?" Surviving in Nigeria is a job.
I think that question. I think that question should be taken off desk.
What do you do for a living?
Because there's nobody that will do one thing in Nigeria. It's difficult to describe somebody or to describe your job routine
in Nigeria.
There's no way, because you're doing one or two things at the same time. So which will I tell you? Because you are going to meet me as an Okada tomorrow. You are going to meet me as a taxi man. A lot of people have become taxi operators in this country now because of the fuel. So some of them are even, that's what they are even living on. So the job description in Nigeria today is not supposed to be a question. How you day? Fine.
Leave it like that.
You don't do. Leave it like that.
Okay, still on the issue before we round up the show. So with respect to the End Bad Governance protest, some persons have tried to, make it a tribal or political or regional issue, while others are coming to say, this is not a regional thing. It is not a political thing. Nigerians have united on common grounds, regardless of our language difference and our political or religious difference. We have come together on common grounds to fight certain norms, one of which I witnessed in my generation was the End SARS, End Police Brutality, which happened in 2020. We saw youths from different tribes, from different states across the Federation come together to say we are sick and tired of this brutality exhibited by the men of the police force. So coming now to say the End Bad Governance protest is a tribal or religious or political or regional thing is a no-no. So I want to have your take on that individually. Let me have your takes.
Yeah, to me, I don't think, that is what has been the problem in this country. They always push religious or an ethnic narrative in order to achieve their political ambition. And even during campaign, that is what they push across. So for these governments to be pushing that narrative now, it's not funny, and it's not a new thing. And because we, the government is known for that, you understand? So, and there is no way, but having said that, there is no way anybody is going to try to paint the demands by the protesters as being, as in kind of like putting it under the narrative of religious or ethnic sentiments or narrative. I think it's, to me, I will not agree with that. The Nigerians, the protesters that came out on the 1st of August, came out with 10 demands, and which is very clear. And when the president addressed the nation, none of these demands were mentioned. Rather, the president played to the gallery, left all the issues that were raised, and started talking another thing entirely. So I think the government should check themselves. They should put their act in order, address those demands that have been at the front burner of the national discourse, instead of playing
to the gallery.
Well,
my take on this is may differ a little from his commentary, for the fact that if I say otherwise, I will go back home suffering. It's only me with my problem. So the truth of the matter is that it's better to speak the truth, so that even when you die in good conscience. Nigeria has found itself in this position that it is a country of tribalism. It's a country of nepotism. It's a country of religious, below, whatever you call it. Everything we do is censored through this channel. And let's not get it wrong. At any time a man takes over leadership of this country, the people from that place, his regional people, see him like our own. A few people will not do, but a majority of people see it's our turn. In fact, they use it. What was the slogan that the president used?
Our local.
What that slogan means, people just say it the way they say. But it's beyond that. Who told you that it's your turn? Therefore, nobody else should contest. You see the point? Therefore, everybody listening to him is say, okay, it's our turn. And tomorrow is going to be the turn of somebody they not. Tomorrow is going to be the turn of somebody else. And therefore, when it happens that way, nobody talks. And they'll be saying that it's our turn, let's eat it. It's our time. So there's no way we avoid this. And it's also in our protest. Sometimes you see a protester telling you that, yes, we know that all the demands that you are raising are true, but allow our thief. It's our thief. They own a thief. They own it. It's our brother. Why do you claim a brother that is a thief? And say it's our brother. We know that it's true, but it's our thief. How do you go forward with this kind of behavior? I'm sure those flags that were raised in the north yesterday, in spite of all the cries that Nigerians were crying during Buhari's time, none of those flags were raised. Nobody called for insurrection in the north. I remember when I started the coup, when Jonathan was in power, the kinds of things that we used to see from the south. And sometimes you wonder, the minority, where is their place? Because up to today, we don't have a thief. Some of us don't have a thief because nobody in my tribe has ever been a president. So we're waiting till our thief will come. So the truth is that we are wired like that. And this is our problem.
Because you support your team. So it's been a wonderful time on the Fifth Estate Live with Akweya TV. And of course, I've been your host, Hope Williams. And I've been in the studio with Mr. Vancouver Te Alam, a social activist, and Mr. Jide Oyekunle, a journalist, and he's also the NUJ chairman, FCT correspondent Chapel. Mr. Jide and Mr. Vancouver has seen a lot with respect to all the events that happened during the End Bad Governance protest. But one thing you should take home is that you need to reorient yourself with respect to politics, economy, and what is happening in your country. It doesn't have to be entertainment and cruise all the time. Do well to like and share this video or leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you are notified whenever we make a post. Till we come your way again next time, do have a wonderful day. Bye bye.